Hello viewers, my name is Haneli Odan and I'm a subject advisor from Buffalo City Metro District. Welcome to the Eastern Cape Department of Education Broadcasting Studio. We've already done the report and today we're going to look at the website. So the purpose is this will serve as a summarized visual version. So remember, you can't just copy and paste everything from the Word document. This is summarized, the website. And do not simply repeat the entire report into the website, into the HTML. The requirements: create a website with a home page linked to at least 2 others. So in total, 3 web pages. Save it and all associated images in the relevant subfolders in your Phase 3 folder using meaningful file names. Especially with websites, use short names when you reference these pictures. I would rather use things like P1, P2 when you do pictures, when you save picture names, so that you don't make spelling mistakes as well. So there you can see there's the website folder. There are my web pages. You only need 3. This learner's got a number of web pages. Okay, and once you've created one web page and you like the background color and the style, you can actually copy it and paste it and then just edit the different web pages. So I'm showing you here, for example, the background colors. The links are working, okay, the different hyperlinks to the different documents, and then the green background. And if you click on the different pages, they all look similar. So there's a uniformity. And this is the first set of 4 marks. Save the HTML, saved as HTML and opens correctly with no errors. So when we open a web page, we don't see any errors. Home page with title included, at least 2 other web pages, and the style and the content is suited to an audience. So it's a professional layout. Okay, Garda paints putting pictures in the background and things like that. So your website should include the following. There must be a title, we've mentioned that, an introduction, the functional navigation system. So if we click on the links of the different web pages, they must work. There must be good quality of information about the topic that you've investigated. And the information should be structured for a website using appropriate principles and techniques, such as headings, paragraphs, lists, tables, lines, all those things that you were taught in HTML. Graphics and images must be in your website, and then of course hyperlinks to other good quality information. So it could be hyperlinks to websites, hyperlinks to your documents that you used for research, your report, anything like that that you want to include. Okay, be consistent. This is very important in your website. Ensure that your website is well laid out. And it's good to actually have your links at the top of the page so that if you move them right to the bottom, it's sometimes difficult to find the links. So it must be easy to find the links, easy to read the page, easy to navigate, and consistent. Same place, if your links are in a specific place, it must be in the same place on all your web pages. It should be easy to skim, scan the website and to find information, important information. Use lines, okay, your horizontal lines that cross the page. It helps to break the pages up into sections, and also it must be clearly distinguishable, different elements, different sections on the web page. So this is the next set of marks here for the website. Readability. It's an attractive and usable layout. All you need to do is just make sure that there's a background color, plain, professional. Pages have consistent appearance. All your pages have the same background color, for example. Your font is the same style throughout. Your font color is the same style for your headings. Related information is grouped together. Different elements like the header, you can use banners, titles, then you have your body, you have footers, are clearly distinguishable. And as we said, lines also help you here, separated by using horizontal lines. And techniques such as lists and tables and paragraphs and headings are used appropriately and correctly to structure the information. You must have these in your PAT because this is part of your grade 12 tables, lists, paragraphs, heading styles, so you make sure that they are added to your website. Okay, the graphics of your website. The graphics that you add must be relevant. They must talk to the topic, and they must enhance. So you mustn't just put in graphics if they don't make sense. You must also make sure that your graphics display your pictures. In other words, the pictures you put in, they must display properly. There mustn't be broken images. They must be cropped. Don't just go put a picture in. Make sure that you change the height and the width of the picture. And you should also take into account that there are visually impaired learners who might be looking at your website. So to do, then you'll have to put tags in so that those learners are also able to read the alt tag. Remember the alt tag that you add to pictures so that they are also able to hear what the picture is about. So we're going to look at a little video here where we've got an image. There are different images. Let's quickly look at a video clip of what a website should look like. There you can see I'm clicking on conclusions and references. There's my headings. Guard against centering, guys. Please, in a professional layout, it's sometimes better to left align. And even in the website, not just in the report. There you can see there's the table. So yeah, this learner definitely used a table. I can see there is, they have lines, they have breaks. So all these things that you've been taught are included. We look at findings. There is an image. So there are quite a few images here on the findings page. We look at that page, the crowdfunding page. They've got an image. There you can see it is referenced. There's a citation added to the picture. So, and those are all things you can add. Citations to pictures. And if you don't know how to do it, then Google it. Google will tell you how to add a citation to picture. And I'm also noting there's a picture. And that picture, the width and the height has been changed, but also the alt text. Remember I said take learners into consideration that are that cannot see, that are visually impaired. And then you'll put that alt text in. So why am I asking you to do it? Because you get a mark for it. Yeah. All graphics are relevant to the topic. So you make sure that they are cropped and sized. That's the first mark. The second one, there are no broken images. So guard against putting your images in subfolders, because that's when you sometimes get the error message, except if you know how to link subfolders to an image. And then all images, not just some of them, all images have an alt tag. So for that mark, make sure that when you add an image, you add the alt tag to it. Okay, navigation. This would now be the hyperlinking from one page to another, and we're going to look at what is navigation. There you can see that once again, there's my main heading. This learner used lines to distinguish the different areas. That's a table, and in this table, she's got hyperlinks that will go to the different web pages. So, and all these links are working. No broken links. If I click on them, the different pages open. So that is the important thing, that your links, if you have any links in your document, they should not be broken. Okay, there is a reference. While I see it, let's mention it. And there you can see at the bottom, click here to see my analyzed data. And she's got a link to the spreadsheet. There we go. It's downloaded there in the bottom left-hand corner. There's the questionnaire and there's the database analysis. So, and then I've also got this extra link at the bottom, which is a named area. So it's a hyperlink to a named area in the website, which is added at the bottom. Bullets and heading styles. Okay, looks nice and professional. Image added. And yeah, all the images added. Let's just scroll down to the bottom again. Yeah, this is what you must guard against, centering a paragraph. You can see there's a centered paragraph. Not good. Okay, don't center the contents of your paragraphs. Okay, let's just close here. So, what marks do you get for hyperlinks? Working hyperlinks are used to create and navigate. Okay, so your hyperlinks must work. Hyperlinks are have meaningful descriptive text. So you saw those links at the top going to the different web pages. It made sense. One said conclusion. When I click on it, it will go to a page that has a conclusion, or it might have an introduction, or it might have a heading that's about the content. Navigation system is consistent. It's always at the top in the same place, or if it's on the left-hand side, on the same place. Okay, so language, use of language, standard English to ensure that there are no spelling and grammar mistakes. Remember, it's a summarized document, so you don't have to write long sentences, summarized, bulleted lists. Okay, information in the report is included and appropriately adapted. It's not copied and pasted straight from the report. Demonstrates good understanding of the information in the material and additional good quality information presented in functional hyperlinks. So they say there, material included and additional good quality information presented in functional hyperlinks. So your hyperlinks are working. When you link there, it goes to something additional like the Word document, or it could even go to another website. Good language is used to suit it to the target group on the website. No spelling and grammar mistakes. Okay, so plagiarism. Once again, guidelines were followed to show recognition or give credits. 3 acknowledgements in the correct format inserted for any text content from other sources. Graphics, images, graphs from other sources are clearly acknowledged and clear, easy to locate, and accurate citations. So there is a citation tag that you can use, but also make sure that you have your bibliography. You can do a screenshot from your Word document and insert that as an image, or use it, type it out. It doesn't matter if you do it that way as well, but there must be at least 3 acknowledgements of your sources, 3 acknowledgements in the correct format added. Then additional tags, and here as well specify where you've used them. So these will be tags that are not necessarily in the curriculum. Additional, like a marquee, you're not being taught how to do a marquee, but a marquee is something additional you can add. So the learn demonstrated skills not included in the curriculum. So there you have to write down which tags you've used. And also to help your teacher when they're marking, tell them on what web page. Give some guidance there on where they will find these tags. So the total mark for the website, 22 marks. This is the referencing, acknowledge information and graphics used from other sources. And I'm just showing you again that there are different ways of acknowledging, but make sure that your references are acknowledged. And then before you hand in your phase 3, once you've completed your PET phase 3, submit a copy of your entire PET. You'll see not just the phase 3, the entire PET folder to your teacher, and the following should be in your phase 3 folder: the word processing report, which we did our previous lesson on, and the website that you created in this phase. The home page linked to at least 2 other web pages together with resources needed for the website, the pictures, graphics, the images you've inserted. You also need to fill in a final declaration, which is Appendix C, and your teacher will give you the date on which to submit your phase 3 work for assessment. And if you are unable to meet the deadline set, you will have to provide a valid reason. Remember, we said this is a compulsory component of CAT. If we look at the marks here, this is an additional set of 4 marks, which adds up to a total of 74 for phase 3. Electronic folder, okay, or hard copies, or hard copies of all documents, but you have to have that electronic folder. All files organized into logical folder structure with subfolders, your phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 subfolders named correctly. Structure easy to find and navigate, and it's meaningful folder names, file and folder names. Okay, I have to mention this, dishonesty. If you get guidance or help from others without acknowledging them, it is dishonest. If you submit work which is not your own, it is dishonest. If you lend your work to other learners so they can copy your work, it's seen as being dishonest. If you allow other learners access to or the use of their own independently sourced material, allow other learners access to or the use of their own independently sourced material. So in other words, guys, you are not allowed to give your research, your surveys that you've done to your friends. They must do their own and include work copy directly without acknowledging them, without acknowledging the source. And then submit work typed by somebody else. Okay, typed or word processed by another person. You can't ask somebody else to type your PET for you. Okay, this is the declaration that I said once the PET phase 3 is done, the declaration that you have to complete. And of course, you are allowed to get help. So you can ask your teacher to advise. You can speak to people and read things to people, but you must acknowledge it here in the declaration. As long as it's your own work, but you may acknowledge here the nature of the help. It doesn't mean you may not ask for advice. Your teacher's supposed to lead you through the PET. When must the PET be done? Before the trial exam. So it's around the corner. Before the trial exam, your PET, complete PET, must be handed in. And you can pass CAT if you work hard at your PET. I have to say that, learners, your PET is 25% of your final mark. If you can get a good 18, 19%, maybe even in the 20s, there are learners that get nearly the full 25% for their PET. You are guaranteed a good mark for your CAT and a pass. So please do your best and good luck for your PET. I just need to stress again, grade 12s, that you should not go into your September trial exam with an incomplete PET. After the trial exam, you have very little time left. You have to focus on studying for the exam and other subjects, as well as when you come back after in term 4, you'll have very little time left, and then your teachers have to submit the PETs. The PETs are usually moderated in the last week of the 3rd term, so they have to be marked in the exam time by your teachers, so there will definitely not be time to work on the PET during the exam. Try your best before the time. Make sure that you have completed everything that you need to complete, and just remember that it must be your own work. You can see the PET as a revision tool, because when you're doing that website, you are actually revising HTML. And when you're doing your Word document and you're doing these citations and tables of contents and tables of figures and styles, you are actually revising your Word for your practical exam. So it is a very useful tool to use for revision. Use all those really advanced skills that you've learned and those difficult things, apply them to your PET so that you can really produce a very good professional PET. Okay, we've come to the end of our PET lesson, PET Phase 3 lesson. You can leave questions on the comments. Don't forget to leave your name, the name of your school, so we can give shout outs. And please share, recommend, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you at the next lesson. Bye.